Good morning. This is Steve Gladis at Steve Gladis Leadership Partners at George Mason University's Mason Enterprise Center. And today we're going to talk about what I call bulletproof leadership. Now you're probably thinking, God, this is kind of weird. Bulletproof leadership. Let me explain what I mean. In a previous life, I used to be an FBI agent. That was my job for many years. And in the FBI and all of law enforcement, we all wear what's called a bulletproof vest. That's to keep us from being hurt by other people. Everybody knows what those are. You watch enough TV, you certainly understand what a bulletproof vest is. I was thinking a few months ago, based on all the research I've done over these years and all the books we've written, what kind of bulletproof vest could I construct for a leader? A metaphorical one, that is, right? What kind of bulletproof vest could I construct for leaders? Because every time as a leader you make a decision, about half the people aren't going to like that decision. It's the bold-faced truth. Leaders have to make difficult decisions, and I kind of think of leadership as a full-contact sport. It's not for the faint of heart. That's why they pay you more money to be a leader than not to be a leader. People know how much it takes. And I wanted to put together a series of strands of, think of them as bolts of cloth and bolts of protection around you, reinforced kind of Kevlar, if you will, around you as a leader that would kind of help you. We came up with 5 of these strands that we thought about. And we're going to cover them in this 5-part series. Each one of these videos is probably 4 or 5 minutes long. And so that we're hoping that you can show these to new leaders as kind of an entrance into leadership, ways for them to sort of protect themselves as they make decisions and sort of gain resilience, if you will, as they go along. So those 5 parts are basically this. Number 1, and we're going to cover each one of these in depth. Number 1 is questions, not answers. That when leaders ask questions and don't necessarily give answers, great things happen. People begin to solve their own problems rather than you have to solve problems for them. So we're going to talk about how that works. This comes from the research we did in the book that we published called The Coach Approach Leader. And again, you may see some of these in our other previous videos in more in-depth. I just wanted to give you a series of 5 of these as kind of an overview for helping new leaders protect themselves. Number 2, emotional and social intelligence. We're going to talk about the notion of emotional intelligence and social intelligence and how that works over IQ. Everybody thinks the smart guy is the guy we want in our team. The answer is, yeah, but not always so smart. Smart's not enough. Intelligence is not enough. You need to have this emotional and social intelligence in order to thrive, particularly at the higher levels in leadership. Third, you got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to speak. You got to be able to write, and you got to be able to project a positive way of life, a positive atmosphere in the workplace. We have a lot of data on that in particular. Fourth, trust. Trust is at the very heart of all leadership, or any relationship that you have, in particular in leadership. Leaders who have high trust can have a lot more latitude in what they do. We're going to talk about the trust triangle. This does come from a book called The Trust Triangle, and we're going to talk about that in just a bit. And then number 5, we're going to talk about change, particularly as it relates to a culture and as it relates to individuals. Cultures are having to change all the time to adapt to things that are going on in the environment around them. They either change or they die. Big companies come and go. Think about borders, and think about how it was disrupted by Amazon. If you don't adapt, bad things happen to you. And we're going to be talking about this whole series in the next few videos. Again, this is Steve Gladis for Steve Gladis Leadership Partners at George Mason University's Mason Enterprise Center. We hope you watch the entire series and show it to your friends. Thanks so much.